Freedom.
When do we want it?
What do we want?
You want to take it off the walk backwards, right?
Yeah, no, it won't stand up.
Right.
I'm backwards. I'm always backwards.
You're always backwards. I want to give you so much credit, mate.
My body, my
I'm going
choice.
live.
So am I.
Oh, good
My
on you.
body,
I'm
my
Jamie.
choice.
Hey?
Jamie.
Andrew.
Andrew, Southern Truth.
My choice.
Andreas Paparazzi. That's me.
My body, my
Southern
choice.
Truth.
Who?
Southern Truth.
My body, my choice. Medical freedom. 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 No vaccine passports. 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 No vaccine
Should have bought a mirror and looked backwards. A mirror, you know, would have been good.
My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my
The
choice.
government's backwards anyway.
Medical freedom. 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 No vaccine passports. No vaccine passports. No vaccine passports.
No.
No vaccine passports. No vaccine passports. My body, my choice. 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 Freedom.
Yeah, I spoke to Dr. Phil Martin.
Freedom. 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 Freedom.
Listen here.
Freedom. 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 My body, my choice. 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 No vaccine mandate. 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 My body, my choice. My body, my choice.
Hold it that way. You can,
My body, my choice.
yeah, and you're still getting it.
My body, my choice. No vaccine mandate. No vaccine mandate. No vaccine mandate.
Thank God it's not raining.
No vaccine mandate. No vaccine mandate. No vaccine mandate. My body, my choice. My body.
Soon they say if you can't get vaccinated, you can't get public transport. Can you imagine that? They'll be out of business.
Medical freedom.
I'd rather walk.
Medical
Hey,
freedom.
I'd rather walk.
Medical freedom. Medical freedom. Medical freedom. Medical freedom.
I see we might stop.
Hands off our children! 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 No more restrictions! No more restrictions! No more restrictions! No more restrictions!
No more restrictions!
No more restrictions!
No more restrictions! No more restrictions!
Hands off our nurses! Hands off our nurses!
Well, you guys better find me a bloody beer after.
Hands off our children! Hands off our children! Hands off our children! Hands off our children! No more masks! No more masks! No more masks! No more masks! We support small business!
We support small business!
We support small business!
Small business!
We support small business!
We support small business!
No more
Not many,
masks!
a few people. Would be a couple of thousand, I reckon.
No more masks!
No more masks!
Only Batman can wear a mask.
Tyranny!
Stop the medical tyranny!
Stop the medical tyranny!
Stop the medical tyranny!
Hands off our children!
You want me to
Hands off our children! Hands off our children! Hands off our children! My body, my choice! My body, my choice! children.
Hands up our children.
No vaccine mandates.
No vaccine mandates.
Hands up our nurses.
Hands up our nurses.
My body, my choice.
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 Medical freedom.
Medical freedom. Medical freedom. Medical freedom.
Medical freedom.
Medical freedom.
No more masks.
No more masks.
No more masks.
No more masks.
My body, my choice.
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 Medical freedom.
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 No vaccine mandates.
No vaccine mandates.
No vaccine mandates.
No vaccine mandates.
Hands up our children.
Hands up our children.
Hands up our children.
Hands up our children.
End this tyranny.
Stop medical apartheid. Okay, every single one of you, get those flags up, get those guns out. The world is watching. Australia is watching. We're not going to get our freedom.
Whoa!
What do we want, man? What do we want? What do we want?
Freedom.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Freedom.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Freedom.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Freedom.
What do we want?
Now.
Medical freedom!
Medical freedom.
Medical children!
Hands off our children!
Hands off our children!
Stop the medical apartheid!
Stop the medical apartheid!
Stop the medical apartheid!
Stop the medical apartheid!
We want freedom!
Yeah!
Peace and love!
Peace and love!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
Peace and love!
Peace and love!
We want freedom!
We want freedom!
Peace and love!
Peace and love!
My body, my choice!
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 Hands off our children! Hands off our children! Hands off our children! Hands off our children! No more masks! 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 No more restrictions! 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 My body, my choice! My body, my choice! My body, my choice! My body, my choice! My body, my choice!
No more masks! No more masks!
Medical freedom!
March in New York City for Australia. That was great. What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? What do we want?
What do we want? What do we want? Parents of our children! Parents of our children! My body, my choice! My body, my choice!
The media is the virus!
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 Fake news!
All of them! All of them!
Fake news! The media is the virus!
The media is the virus!
The media is the virus!
The media is the virus! The media is the virus! Hey, you don't passport! You know how we can tell that the media is the virus? Because they're not bloody here! Virus is spreading South Australia. There is no media to do any fake coverage about the handful of people here.
The media's not here, but neither's COVID. They're one and the same.
Correct, correct. We want freedom! Peace and love! We want freedom! Peace and love! We want freedom! Peace and love! No more masks! No more masks! No more
other. And have a look at the support we've got here, people. Like I've invited you, do it 360. Look at that. Tell them that we are here together, standing for our freedom, standing in our truth, and doing it for our future generations. Be that. Do it for your children. And I see all these kids, every one of these kids, you're all my heroes. You're all my heroes. And every adult that's here, you are my hero. No matter what age you are. And then let this ridiculous outfit be a reminder to every single one of you that every day we need to step out as superheroes in this world. And stand up for our freedom, and stand up for our truth, and show other people what it looks like to stay in our power. Because we're not claiming it back, because we're not giving it away.
Yeah!
We are not giving our power away, we stand in it. Don't forget that.
Stand in our power!
So what do we want?
Whoa. Hey, how's that, everybody? Alright, I'm going to shout. Now, just to the people who are coming at the tail end, if you can move through, if everybody can kind of move down a little bit, let's cram some more people in a bit closer. I'm pretty sure you will be able to hear us up the end there.
My daughter's going to give a speech.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
Fantastic, brother.
The blonde one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's her
Show
fun.
you how people.
Hug people while maintaining social distance.
Spread the love.
All right. All right. We said we had an announcement to make, and we do. I'm going to move over. Just short things in.
Indigenous Line 2, they're back. Murderers.
It's wonderful to see you all here, standing up for your own freedom, standing up for your children's freedom.
Can you guys hear on the megaphone? Yes.
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Hey?
See what we can do about this.
Want me to stop it?
Sorry.
Want me to stop it?
Yeah, don't waste my battery, just take the other bit. Well, usually, just when we get up, just take this one. Okay, cool? And then you break your
Shall I post it or not?
No, don't post it.
We love you, darling. We love you.
All right, that's a bit better, isn't it? Have a look at me turning into a tech head and everything. Thank you. I twiddled a novel.
All right, thank you. So here we are. Here we are experiencing all the things that we thought would never happen. All the things that we thought someone else was going to fix. All the things that we thought would affect other people, but wouldn't affect ourselves. Our governments and our health bureaucracies couldn't surely be that irrational. They surely couldn't be that authoritarian.
They are.
They surely couldn't be that cruel. The police, and I make an honourable exception to the South Australian police, but look at the police in the people in Victoria and New South Wales thought The police could never be this brutal. Doctors won't throw their patients to the wolves because they're scared of APRA. They'll see their duty to their parents through. So we thought. We were wrong about all of it. All of these things happened. I never want to hear another person say, and I'm sure you've heard it as often as I have, I can't believe this is happening. Well, believe it. It's happening, and I'll tell you something else you should believe. It's going to get much worse very shortly.
It sure is.
Now the trap we're experiencing now is the narrative falls apart. Is that as the narrative falls apart, and it's clear that the vaccines don't prevent the transmission of the virus, and this is admitted by them, when it's clear and not even contested that the PCA tests aren't diagnostic of the presence of a virus, let alone of an infection. When it's clear, no one disputes it, that for years the so-called COVID death toll has been manufactured and shamefully exaggerated, we tend to think to ourselves, well, surely they'll give the narrative away now. On the contrary, they stick to it, they run with it, and what they're saying to you now is, we don't care if you know the truth, we're in charge, we have the power.
Bullshit!
We've manipulated the population sufficiently that they're behaving like drones and sheep. They're at their most dangerous now, and we must be at our most proactive.
Yes.
This didn't happen in 18 months, ladies and gentlemen. That we were so vulnerable to be tricked and manipulated and cheated and lied to is the product of decades of betrayal of the principles upon which our institutions were created and flourished. And I'm talking about the churches, the schools, the professions, and especially the medical profession. And most of all, the press.
Yeah! Iron
press. They have been corrupted and perverted.
Excuse me.
So, a gentleman said to me as I arrived here today, he said, I hope we're not going to hear about all the problems, I want solutions. And I understand that, and I'm proposing to offer at least a partial solution today with what I bring to the table. You all bring your own solutions to the table.
Get rid of the government.
Before I tell you what the initiative that I'm proposing to take, and in respect to which we'll seek your support, I ask you to bear this in mind. Two, we are a very small minority in a society that has turned its back on its heritage of freedom. Our fate is in our own hands. No one's going to help us. We're going to have to sort this out ourselves. We're going to have to protect ourselves. Don't look to anyone else other than all of the people here and perhaps a handful of people that couldn't get here. But I say we're enough. If we speak the truth, we can see this off. Now, what we can do, it seems to me, falls into three categories, and I'll quickly go over the first. The first one, of course, is the personal. And other people have spoken to you about that today, and I won't labour it. Never comply with the lies. This tyranny could be over in 2 days if just a critical minority of people refuse to comply with the lies. If they did what I know a number of us have done, what I've done, what I know a lot of you have done, I've never worn a mask, I never will. I've never used a QR code, I never will. I have not taken these phony vaccinations, and I never will. Now, the second thing is, and I'm just going to have to touch on this, it but it's something I urge all of you to look into in your industries. You must get out and form your own industrial associations. There's a very good group in Queensland called Red Union. Look them up, speak to people who've dealt with them. I'm not talking about unions that enter into enterprise bargaining agreements with employers. I'm talking about unions getting together in their industries, being collegiate, looking after each other. You can see these rogues off if you stand together. Industrial association office. But I've got to talk to you about some legal action. Now you might say it's been a long time coming, and there's a reason for that which I'll explain in a moment. Bear in mind that in response to these vaccinations, bear in mind there are two scenarios. There's the companies who do it off their own bat independently of any direction or government mandate, and there are plenty of solutions for that out there under the Fair Work Act. Get yourself a lawyer, get in touch with the Adelaide Freedom Rally, they'll refer you to people. There's some very good publications. You've probably heard some people speaking this afternoon about that. But I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about this afternoon, I'm talking about what we do about these wicked directions. And here's what we need to do. We need to bring a judicial review application. Firstly, let me say to you, let me try and use the time I have the best I can. It's judicial review or it's nothing. Please don't listen to people who are still peddling information or suggestions about constitutional remedies. We don't have any constitutional remedies because Prime Minister Scott Morrison has kicked the Constitution into touch.
He's a wanker!
He's got the states to do his filthy work. He's not done anything under the Biosecurity Act. Forget the people talking about the Biosecurity Act. It's not going to help us. They're not issuing directions under that other than the ones they've already issued, and that's only two. The ones that keep us in the country, the ones that stop cruise boats coming into our harbours. Forget that. It's judicial review or nothing. Now, very briefly, because if there'll be another opportunity for this to be explicated in more detail, go to the Adelaide Freedom Rally website this week. We're going to have a meeting during the week at a venue it's been arranged. It's a venue I can't disclose at the moment. Come along to it, and this will be explained to you in more detail. Judicial review is an ancient remedy that's always been available through superior courts like our Supreme Court. When in the old days the King, these days this wicked Parliament behind us used their power, exercised power in excess of that which was granted to them, and the courts can control them, and the courts will control them if a properly constituted judicial review application is put before them. And I'm announcing today that that's already underway. I haven't recommended this before, and I mentioned this at earlier rallies. There's a good reason for that. Once the problem that is identified in the judicial review application, the problem in the way in which the police commissioner is exercising his powers, because we have such supine parliaments, because both sides of parliament are acting as one, because they're both parts, they're interlocked in this tyranny, the remedy once identified would just be remedied by the Parliament getting together and passing an amendment to the Emergency Management Act. I don't think that's going to happen anymore, because Marshall and his deputy Vicky Chapman have been too smart by half. You followed the developments during the week. I say this will be a lame duck Parliament to the next election. So if we succeed in our judicial review application, and I say to you we have reasonable prospects of getting up in that application, no guarantee can be given in respect of legal proceedings. I wouldn't mislead you. I wouldn't waste your time. The way this Emergency Management Act is drawn in South Australia, the powers that the Police Commissioner is exercising are unique. There is no doubt that he's issued directions that are well beyond that which is authorised by the text of the Emergency Management Act. We've got to take it on. As As we speak, in the days leading up to this rally, an association has been formed, an incorporated association. The way it'll work is we'll find three litigants. We'll find three litigants from the industries that have already been affected by these vaccine mandates. We'll find an aged care worker. Remember, they came after them first. The poorly paid aged care workers whom they think couldn't fight back, they ambushed them with the way they did it. Their unions let them down, their employers let them down. We'll find an aged care worker. We'll find someone who's affected by the cross-border direction, and I'm going to suggest it's one of the, again, low-paid workers who worked in the industries that come onto ships when they come into harbour. They had to get jabbed or lose their job. And now we've got the nurses. And the truck drivers, as this gentleman has mentioned. And now under this wicked direction that came into operation last week, it starts with hospitals, public hospitals and private hospitals and ambulances. There's every chance it'll be directed. SA Health are already lying. Bald-faced lies. Yes. They're suggesting that the direction already extends beyond the hospitals. It does not. It might. But that's up to the Police Commissioner. That's not up to SA Health or Ms Spurrier. And at this stage, we don't know what the Police Commissioner is going to do about that. So we find our litigants. The association indemnifies them in respect of their legal costs. The association indemnifies them in the event the application isn't successful, there's an adverse costs order. We get the best counsel available. A solicitor has already been engaged. We're underway. Medical practitioners have already provided the seed funding for the litigation. It wouldn't have escaped your notice now that doctors are getting involved. Whatever the reason for that, and it may be because the prospect of them getting jabbed is the one that frightens them. But for whatever reason they've come on board, they're coming on board. I'm really excited about this. I wouldn't mislead you. I haven't suggested the judicial review application before. We get good counsel. We bring that application and we give it our best shot. But we'll need your assistance. As I say, I'll spell that out in more detail at the public function later in the week. We need money. I've never asked anyone for money in my life, even though I'm a Scotsman. We'll need your money, we need your support. This is a way in which you can all make a contribution to this opportunity to bring this regime down. If the judicial review application is successful, it quashes the relevant direction. Now, New South Wales, a similar application was made in New South Wales. I'm not going to talk about that today. Their statutory regime was completely different. The way the argument was presented in that case, I don't think was done optimally. I'm not making criticism of the people who ran it. No one else ran it. They stood up and had a go. I don't think it was argued in the way that it ought to have been argued even under their legislation. But our opportunities, given the strictures of our Emergency Services Act, are even wider. So I'm asking for your support in relation to this. We've got the opportunity to do that in terms of legal remedies, and I'm not suggesting, you've already heard me, I've taken up enough of your time, I'm not suggesting legal remedies are the only remedy. In fact, they're not even the principal remedy. The principal remedy is for us as individuals never to comply with the lie. But this is a real opportunity to bring this regime down in this state. Through Marshall's incompetence, through the incompetence of this government, they've kicked themselves into touch until the next election. I say if we get up in a judicial review application, we may be too late for the nurses in the hospitals. We may be too late. Normally these applications would be 4 to 6 weeks to get up. I'm going to try and get this up within 2 to 3 weeks. That's really all I have. That's all I've had to say to you today, ladies and gentlemen. It's a plea for assistance. I'm not going to waste your time telling you what's happening to us. We all know what's happening to us. We all know it's gradually got worse, and we all know precipitously it's going to get much worse very soon. We've got to do what we can. I think at the last rally I said to you, everything changed for me when one morning I woke up and I thought, how would it be if I lived today without fear? And let me tell you, it made all the difference. The fruit of that is this initiative that I, in common with the other members of the group, have taken today. Try it yourself. Wake up tomorrow morning and say, what change can I make to this regime if I live without fear? It will make all the difference. Thank you for listening.
And of course this opportunity arises because the Marshmallow government is collapsing into a heap. The Home Party can't stand him anymore. They can't stand what's going on. Let's hope that this perfect storm that we're currently in, we can take full advantage. For all of you people affected by the November 1 mandate deadline, Informed Choice Network, hold up your sign. Right, these people are giving good advice. Do not resign. Be respectful. There are processes you can go through that will keep you on the right side of any unfair dismissal claim, which is actually very important. So get good advice. Contact us at AdelaideFreedomRally.com. Look up the Informed Choice Network. The other thing that is a really big and growing movement is a number of political parties and candidates here in South Australia that are going to offer you an alternative come next year's election. My understanding is that they work together to get the maximum bang for the buck. Yes, they do. They are good, passionate people who have chosen to step out into the public limelight and fight for your rights. So we're going to give them all a few minutes to talk about their party and what they're up to before we head back to the park.
Oh, sorry. Have my bread. This one's better.
Hello everybody. I'd like to say thank you very much for your attention. It's a great honour and a great privilege to be here speaking with you today. And I want to reach out and offer a warm thank you to the South Australian Police who are here helping us today. Thank you very much for your support. I do know a few police officers in the South Australian Police Force. They're very nice people, they're warm people, they're a wonderful community, and it's just great to have them here with us today, so thank you. My name is Benjamin Hammersley, and I'm putting up my hand to run as a candidate backed by Australia One. We've all been through a lot lately. Humanity is being shaken out of its sleep. And whilst many are not aware of what is going on, many more are waking up. And when people truly wake up, they don't go back to sleep. People all over the world are opening their eyes and coming together and finding their purpose in a way we have never seen before. All of the problems we have suffered in this world, the poverty, the disease, the war, the division, has been created and supported by a ruthless and highly organised people who have only been able to succeed because mostly nobody knew who they were or what they were doing. But this is all changing now. The old system of corruption and depravity is being exposed and starting to crumble, and new ways of thinking and doing things are being realised. But real change only happens when we get involved.
We've got a meeting.
All right. Okay.
For too long, we have been disengaged. Many of us have been convinced that politics was only for a select few, that it was boring and childish, and that we didn't have any power to get involved and make a real difference. We have been tricked into giving our power away to compromise and corrupt, and in many cases, very, very bad people. And as the general population has become apathetic and disengaged, this great political power has been abused and used against us. But the time for apathy and disengagement is over. We need to harness the opportunity in this awakening and take our power back. We need to save our country. There are many patriots and good people in this movement, and there is a political party that is not afraid of the truth and has courage and determination like the political landscape in this country has never seen before. Australia One is about a lot more than just ending the lockdowns and exposing the crimes against humanity behind these forced injections. Australia One aims to become the party of government and give power back to the people in a way that most of us have never dreamed of. We are focused on dealing with all of the core issues, no matter how confronting they might be, because when we are honest about just how deep all of this goes, we can rid this country of the darkness that has plagued our society, finally create a beautiful world that we all know is possible. It may seem like a massive hill to climb to take back our country and to create the future of our dreams, and it may be, but nothing came good easy. And the biggest changes always come with the greatest efforts. And the truth is, this shift we are moving into right now is bigger than most of us can imagine. Humanity is being presented with a window of opportunity like we have never seen before, and we must ride this wave of catalyst for change that is sweeping the world. We are now in a time where if we can collectively put our focus and our effort into creating something new, we will achieve it.
Yes.
We are here on this planet, in this place, at this time, for a reason.
Yes.
We came here to do this. This is our time to live without fear, to pick up our swords and our shields and come into our hearts and become something that we've never been before. It is time for us to do what we came here to do, and as long as we stay true to each other, nothing will be able to stop us. Nothing. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Politicians spoke, our elected representatives who do no representation. Now, Rainey, you want to come up, please? I just want to say we are being live streamed through the Australian Free Independent Press Network. So we'll send a link. But they've got a Facebook page and they're live streaming. They're also live streaming Melbourne and Sydney, I believe, a whole of Australia. This is a great new initiative. Thank you, Kat.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming out on this lovely Saturday afternoon. We have such a strong and wonderful community here in Adelaide. It's such a great feeling knowing that we are all united and together fighting the government and medical tyranny that is happening in this country right now. Yeah. My name is Raina Cruz. Many of you would know me. I run the Medical Freedom Warriors South Australian Facebook page and Telegram group. I was at the very first rally at the beginning of all this COVID crap with the first 100 people who marched through Rundle Mall and the streets against this absolute madness. It has been amazing to watch our tribe of Adelaide Warriors grow to thousands of us over the past 18 months. My Medical Freedom page stands for freedom of choice, informed consent, and no coercion when it comes to medical treatments and choices. I realised very early on that this battle needs to be not just a community one, but a political one.
And a nation one.
I have now joined a party which represents everything that my Medical Freedom page represents, and I will be running as a federal candidate for Informed Medical Options Party, IMOP. IMOP has been around for nearly 7 years. We are registered, and I have been following them for many years now. When you vote for IMOP, you are voting for no mandatory COVID-19 vaccines. You are voting for no more fluoride in our water. Legalising medicinal cannabis. Protecting the environment and the animals. Supporting small and local businesses. Demanding government truth and transparency. No forced medication or coerced vaccination, and many, many other very important issues. We have formed a cooperative called CADCO, the Commonwealth of Australia Democratic Corporation, with Rod Cullinan from Australia, Great Australia Party, also Australia's Representatives and Australian Federation Party. So we all have a very similar vision and very similar values, so we will be working together to strategise preferencing and candidacy placing to try and make your vote count as best as it possibly can in this corrupt system that we have to work with. Okay, we are in the fight of our lives at the moment, succeeding in getting some good people that represent each and every one of us in this parliament is the only peaceful solution out of this mess. Anyone who knows Taylor Whipstein or Tom Barnett, they are both very vocal and inspiring truth warriors on social media, and they will also be running as candidates for IMOP at next election. So whether it be mandatory vaccination, vaccine passports, employment blackmail, experimental treatments, coercion, or even rumored microchipping, at the very core of all of this is our bodily autonomy. Our bodily autonomy is what needs to be protected, and that is what IMOP stands for, and it's dedicated to protecting. The next election can be called at any time, so I would absolutely appreciate your support and promise to earn your vote at election time. I've just lost my face. Okay. If any of you Freedom Warriors would like to join our Informed Medical Options Party committee and help out in any way, yeah, please come and contact me. You can reach me on Facebook, my Medical Freedom page. My email is on the IMOP website as well. Yeah, so we need as many people helping out as possible when it comes to handing out flyers at the next election, and also we need some assertive hands on deck to monitor and police the counting system, which I'm not sure how that works, but we certainly need to be keeping an eye on how they do that. So please, if you're interested in helping out, get in touch. A couple of our Freedom Medical Angels are handing out brochures today. So they've been out and about handing out my brochures and our party's brochure. So yeah, please vote one for Raina Cruz Informed Medical Options Party next election. I will not let you down.
Alright, there's an option to the two versions of beige that have been carrying on and imposing this tyranny, each as bad as the other. Now we have Trumpet of Patriots.
Can you guys hear me? Yes. Can you hear me now? Yes. So, we think that all the parties need to unite as one. Yes. Can you hear me at the back? Good. So who thinks that all the parties need to unite as one? honestly, we think that that's the only way it's going to work. We need to work in numbers. So when we started Top With You, there were other parties around, and we decided that we needed a movement to help unite them all. We're dads, mums, we're teachers, we're just like you. We actually formed here in the freedom rallies as well. So we're just like you. In fact, none of us knew each other. We all met here. I've met some of my closest friends in these rallies now. I've lost all my other friends. I've got no school friends left. They're gone. That's alright, because I've made lifelong friends and family with you guys. We're all parents. A lot of us have family that we care for. A lot of us know what's coming, and we just don't. We really don't like what's about to happen. We're seeing a glimpse of our future for our children, and we've realised that we've got to do something about it. And I love I just want to say thank you to Kathy for giving us a chance to say hello, and thank you to the police. And also to just appreciate the works of IMOP and all the other smaller parties. Ben, thanks mate, beautiful words. And just to let all of you guys know that behind the scenes we are all working together to unite under one movement, to make this happen, to make this work. Yes. If you want to learn more about TOP and what we're about and where we're heading, then we've got a head office in Rundle Street. We're having a small networking barbecue there for members and anyone that wants to become a member or learn what we're doing with action groups. You can join online. Thank you. Come and say hello to us. You can talk to us. You can call us. We answer the phones. We chat to you. Let us know where you want us to go politically, but also let us know what you're about, what matters to you. Because we've got group action and we're on the ground and we're organising for you guys in the community. And we're working with Adelaide Freedom Rally too because we love these guys and if it wasn't for them we wouldn't have met. So thanks guys.
Thank you. I believe Nick Lamb. Nick's had a word before.
Hello. Alright. Thank you everyone for coming out. It's good to see so many people turning up here. Really good to see. So, first off, everyone give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Without you guys, secondly, I want to thank the Freedom Rally for the efforts they go to put all this together, because again, without them, without you, it doesn't happen. Thirdly, to everyone else, all the other political parties that are stepping forward and bringing everything together, this is how we do it, by coming together. So, the common law court that initially existed has recognised the transition that needs to take place, and we need to move forward into setting up a political party, which is what we've done, the Commonwealth Justice Assembly and alliances. Much like the others, we're all focused on coming together as a unified, coherent group. The community, that's the premise of what we base everything on. Transparency, accountability within the sphere of those that have got the leadership roles. Moving on to that point exactly. So, for those that aren't aware, you probably might have seen it through the news, littered across the TV. The Commonwealth Justice Assembly is held on land owned by a person named Peter Horton. He's responsible for bringing this community group together and allowing it to transition into what it's becoming. Unfortunately, because he's hitting the nail so much on the head, they had to silence him. So he's currently being held as a political prisoner. On the 16th of September, the property was raided. They sent a Bearcat military-grade truck, 9, 10, 12 SWAT agencies, AR-15 rifles, held all of us hostage out the front for 5 hours while they roamed freely around the property. So he's being held because he's spitting the truth in the court system. They're terrified of what happens when all of us come together. And that's what we need to start doing. I'll finish up quickly and then wrap up because I know there's others that are going to speak. So the CWJ-AAA, as our acronym is for short, is focused on bringing everyone together. As I mentioned, full accountability from those taking the leadership roles in the government, full transparency of how the government operates, leading you guys, the community. Let's get together and make this happen.
You did it. Now, thanks everyone for your patience. I know it's been very good to hear from all of these different political parties. We will send out all of that information through our email network. So subscribe at AdelaideFreedomRally.com and we'll make sure that we're across all of the links and actions for these parties. We're here as a hub, we're here to support. If you've got an action that you want support with or some networking in your local community, as I said before, please get in touch with us and we will do what we can to spread that word and grow this community, because growing this community is the most important thing. Growing this community, civil disobedience. All right? Now there is an action, there is a legal action happening at the moment, am I right? And Graham Lyons is the recalcitrant, I'm trying to think of the words to describe somebody who is so civilly disobedient as to acquire himself a summons to appear in court. Is that right, Graham? So, you know, I want to distance myself a little bit from this man. Just kidding. He's going to tell you all about it.
Thank you, Kathy. It's a privilege to be among so many courageous, enlightened, informed Australians. One of the many things we've learned over the past 20 months is how few of our fellow countrymen exhibit those characteristics. So you deserve to be Graham Lyons is my name. I'm a scientist and a cattle breeder. My scientific work is mostly in the provision of micronutrients to deficient populations via the food systems, not by drugs and injections. I spoke in mid-May about my case. Most of you will not have heard that. I'll give you an update on it. I came back from Brisbane to Adelaide by air at the end of March. And I was informed by officers of the military, or rather the medical COVID industrial complex, that I would have to submit to 3 so-called COVID tests and self-isolate, so-called, for 14 days. I decided I would not be doing that, and I told them in no uncertain terms, watch out, that I would not do it, because I know as a scientist that it's a fraudulent test. It's also an invasive means of obtaining the sample. They're probably pushing some horrible poison into your brain, and they're also collecting your DNA without your consent. So I told them in no uncertain terms I would not do it. They told me I would have to self-isolate for another 10 days. So I spent 24 days under house arrest. During that time, I was visited by 10 police officers. After that, I was told I would have to pay a fine, an expiation fee of $1,000. I told them I will not be paying it. I elect to be prosecuted. I didn't hear from the police for 5 months. Talk about the long arm of the law. About a week ago, I received an email summonsing me to appear in the Adelaide Magistrates Court on the 25th of October, 2:15 p.m. My legal advisor, you've heard from earlier, is Stuart Lindsay, and you can see what a courageous person he is, a very principled person, very erudite. I'm fortunate to have him as my advisor. This approach we're taking is not without risk. wait until you hear this. Anyone who's not certain that we're living under medical tyranny, the maximum penalty for my heinous crime of refusing to have my bodily integrity compromised, and also along with the Nuremberg Code, is $20,000 fine or 2 years in jail. Among other things, we intend to subpoena the so-called Chief Public Health Officer, Nicholas Fury, and I'm heartened to hear Stuart's talk about legal action before. Maybe I could piggyback in on that, who knows. But what's the next on the agenda of the Orwellian South Australian health outfit? It's called SA Health. How Orwellian are they? They shouldn't be called health. They could be called numerous other things. Oh, sorry, the boss here is looking at me. I get carried away. Next on their agenda is the pop-up vax clinics at various schools in this state. In my opinion, that's a manifestation of satanic child abuse. It must not be allowed. Okay. If any of you have not seen my 13 reasons for not getting quaxed, come and see me afterwards. I've been spreading it around since January as far and wide. I've got lumps and copies. And notice I use the word quacks because I think, as we all know, it's not a vaccination, so it's not even a vax. And quacks illustrates the quackery, the pseudoscience used to promote it. So I call it the quacks. And it's, Alan sold some of my thunder before, but Stuart wanted me to mention this as well. A number of doctors and nurses, and I don't think any chemists so far, have stood up and told the truth about this quacks. Most have not. They are still administering it. Isn't it about time you stood up, you doctors? Don't you undertake the Hippocratic Oath these days? You know what that is. Above all, do no harm. Every time you inject that poison into someone, you are doing harm. Can you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and after work at night? Who do you see who looks back at you? Is it a carer, a decent person, a medical person, or is it a harmer? Maybe even a murderer? That's pretty ordinary stuff. You need to start finding a backbone. You need to shake off the shackles of evil big pharma and get a backbone, get some courage. If you're a male, try and find a pair of cojones. If you don't understand what they are, find yourself a Spanish dictionary. Now I shouldn't go on much further, you're going to jump on me, but I have a code, a 5-pillared code, which I use every time I go out in society now. This is my way of dealing with this shite which has been dumped upon us, and my way of counteracting it. The first one is non-compliance, as been mentioned before, with all of these unscientific, unhealthy COVID diktats emanating from SA Health. Non-compliance. Henry David Thoreau. Disobedience is the true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. So when we go walking through Adelaide, we see a lot of slaves and potential slaves, unfortunately. Very obedient people. That's not the way to get through this. Secondly, Gandhi's faith in the power of truth. The Indian name was Satyagraha. He put great faith in that. It won't necessarily get you victory in the short term, but eventually it will. Truth always comes out in the end. And Gandhi said, in addition, live the life that you want the rest of the world to live. So these are the things I try to do. Solzhenitsyn's 1974 essay, Live Not by Lies. The whole Corona hoax story is one big lie. So you do not bow to any of it. Yes, I've got to wind up. You need to connect with your spiritual side. I'm on a journey myself here. I've got several very good advisors. I'm not alone because this thing is too big to defeat at a temporal level only. It's a spiritual battle. All that is good, just, great, healthy versus pure evil. So it's a spiritual battle. I'll wind up by saying my fifth pillar, because I expect there to be plenty of street level activity in future, the way this is heading. You need to keep fit and healthy. As you've probably discerned, I'm very angry and I'm also disgusted with the big pharma reps who are posing as our so-called leaders and bureaucrats, and I'm consumed by this at times. The only way I can alleviate it is by running up and down Mount Lofty. And I envelop myself in a world of pain. I exclude all that stuff. When I do a good time at the summit, I come running down, I feel very good. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks, Graham. So families are divided over this. They've already divided. I'm getting daily calls and emails and messages from people saying, like my family member, I never would believe it, they've been double jabbed. Everything I've said to them, they didn't listen, they went ahead and did it. And when I don't know how many of you, but I can count on 5 fingers the number of family, friends with comorbidities whose journey towards the grave has been hastened by this harmful and dangerous mRNA technology. The adage is always with the vaccines, and we will be marching past SA Health in a minute, okay? The risks outweigh, sorry, I got it the right way, but that's what they say. This is what they've been doing. Any story on vaccines since I've been doing this for more than 2.5 decades, there's risks to any vaccine, but the benefits outweigh the risks. That's their catchphrase. So let's get out there. Let's get out there and say to anybody who will listen, what is the benefits? What is the benefits? 80% vaccination rate targets, and we're modelling for a COVID spike. What is the benefits? They have removed, they started out with some transparency, they've removed it so far that they now have to sprinkle fairy dust just to blind us all before they say anything. You know, you won't die as badly as the person who dies who's not vaccinated. Just wait for it, that'll be coming out next. Now we have Tim Dwyer to finish us off today. The march route back to the park is King William Street and Grenfell Street. So we will be going past, we will have SA Health on one side and Channel 9 on the other. But I don't think anybody's there at Channel 9 today or anywhere else.
I didn't even remember.
But let me add something.
Police can't get me help.
Each and every person here today represents 10 others that could not be here.
I'm not fucking.
You represent 10 others.
Why didn't anyone listen? I told everyone. No one fucking.
Ladies and gentlemen, you represent children so young they cannot be here. The fate of those children are yet to be born. The little ones. The ones in the arms of the cradle. Those are the ones that you stand for here today. You stand for future generations that will sit there and say, do you remember the great battle of 2021 when the few exactly where you stand.
Yes!
You will need to stand together, lock arms, bolt in together. You will need to help each other. You will need to supply each other. You will need to comfort each other. You will need your brothers and sisters. You will need them all.
489 Wingback Road, prison. I've been killed trying to be killed in Glenside in fucking Warrior. I can tell you the pedophiles, springs, I can tell you. And then I'm home to fucking down the street to die, and that sucks. I've got liver problems, kidneys and gallbladder, and I'm fucking dying and no one fucking cares in the life that makes me sad. Thank you.
In South Australia, hell? You're kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have, hang on just one moment, please.
Well said.
Thank you.
Ladies and
I'm Sarah
gentlemen,
Lucille McCartney.
we do not have the help
I'm Sarah Lucille McCartney. I'm on treatment. I
any
live
society
Dorothy
that
Road,
is
you
threatened
fucking bitch.
to extinction,
Fucking nasty before
to
they made us
starvation,
Ringo had
is being ruled by terrorists. Terrorists. Osama bin Laden was no different than Stephen Marshall. Terrorism. I live in Gawler, and every day there is over 20 ambulances sent from the city to Gawler to pick up the vaccinated injured. Every day. Every day. Ladies and gentlemen, I've won. You're one. Please, put this finger up. We're one.
Yes!
We're one. But together